In many neighborhoods, the HOA is meant to keep things neat and uniform. But for one family, their HOA became the enemy the moment they decided to grow something meaningful in their own backyard. It started simply enough: a vegetable garden planted with care, rows of tomatoes, peppers, herbs, and a few fruit bushes. It wasn't messy or unkempt. In fact, it was tidy and well organized, a little oasis of green that neighbors admired. But to the HOA, it was a violation. The notice arrived abruptly, claiming the garden was unsightly and not in keeping with the community's image. The family was ordered to rip it out or face daily fines. At first, they were stunned. The garden wasn't harming anyone. It didn't spill into other yards or block sidewalks. It was their own space, on their own property. The HOA's demand felt like an invasion. Instead of backing down, the family began researching. They discovered that their state had recently passed legislation protecting homeowners' rights to grow food on their property. Lawmakers had recognized that HOAs often overreached, and this law was specifically written to prevent boards from banning vegetable gardens. With the law on their side, the family refused to comply. The HOA doubled down, issuing more fines, sending threatening letters, and even attempting to shame the family in community newsletters. But the family was prepared. They gathered their paperwork, contacted local news outlets, and shared their story on social media. Very quickly, what had been a private dispute became a public scandal. Reporters arrived to film the family's beautiful garden, contrasting it against the HOA's aggressive stance. Neighbors who had once stayed silent now voiced their support, praising the garden as a source of inspiration. Online, the story spread rapidly, with people across the state criticizing the HOA's heavy-handedness. Under mounting pressure, the HOA tried to defend itself, but the damage was done. The state law was clear: they had no authority to ban the garden. Every fine they had issued was invalid, every threat unenforceable. Facing both legal consequences and a tidal wave of bad publicity, the board finally backed down. For the family, it was a victory not just for themselves, but for everyone in the community who had felt stifled by unnecessary rules. Their garden remained, thriving more than ever, and became a symbol of resilience. Other homeowners even began planting gardens of their own, inspired by the courage to stand up against the board. The HOA, once feared, now found its reputation in ruins. Instead of being seen as protectors of property values, they were remembered as the board that tried, and failed, to ban vegetables. And the family? They didn't just save their garden. They reminded everyone that sometimes, the best way to fight control is to plant seeds of resistance and let them grow. Do like, subscribe for more video.